Good evening, and welcome back to the late-night slow talk, your quiet corner of the night where stories drift gently through the dark like soft candlelight. Tonight I'll be telling you a story, a ghost story, but a calm one, not loud, not shocking, just softly unsettling, the way English ghost stories usually are. Something you can fall asleep to while feeling a little shiver in a very comfortable way. So if you're ready, let's begin our quiet journey to a forgotten little railway station deep in the English countryside. Picture this. It's late autumn in England. The air is cold, misty, with a thin silver fog floating across empty fields. There's a tiny railway line called the Hollow Line. Hardly anyone uses it anymore. The trains come only twice a day, and at night the whole area feels as if time has stopped. The station sits quietly in the middle of nowhere. No shops, no houses nearby, just a small wooden platform, an old iron bench, and a single flickering lamp. This is Hollowbrook Station, and it's been standing here for over 120 years. Some say it's haunted. Locals whisper about a woman who appears on the platform late at night. They call her the lady with the blue scarf. She's described as calm, quiet, and politely distant. Some see her sitting on the bench, hands folded on her lap, as if waiting for a train that never comes. Some say she walks along the platform slowly, almost soundlessly, as though she was floating rather than stepping. But here's the strange part. Everyone who has seen her says the same thing. They didn't realize she wasn't human until she turned and looked directly at them. Not scary, not threatening, just empty. Eyes with no reflection. Soft, silent, gone in a blink. Our story tonight follows a man named Thomas Hale, a quiet, polite gentleman in his early 30s. He worked in London in a small office full of papers, coffee cups, and endless emails. One Friday evening, Thomas decided to take a late train to visit a friend in a nearby village. But because of a signal failure, his train was diverted and ended up stopping temporarily at Hollowbrook Station. He had never heard of it, but that night he would learn its secret. The train halted with a long, tired sigh. Thomas stepped out briefly to breathe the cold air. The moment he did, he felt something strange. A stillness, as if the world had paused just for him. The lamp above flickered softly. The platform stretched quietly into the fog. There was no wind, no birds, no distant roads, just silence. A gentle, eerie silence that felt older than the station itself. Thomas checked the time. 11:47 p.m. He rubbed his hands together and looked around. Then he heard something. Soft footsteps behind him. Slow, measured, like someone walking in a long dress. He turned. No one there. But the footsteps continued, fading into the fog. Thomas smiled nervously. "Probably just my imagination," he whispered to himself. But the sound came again, closer this time, delicate like silk brushing over stone. Then, through the drifting fog, he saw her. A woman sitting elegantly on the iron bench. Her posture was straight, her hands were folding neatly. Her dress looked old-fashioned, like something from the early 1900s. Around her neck was a pale blue scarf that moved gently, even though the air was still. She was perfectly still, too still. Thomas cleared his throat and spoke softly. "Good evening. Are you all right?" The woman didn't reply. She turned her head very slowly and looked at him. Her eyes were calm but empty, like glass. Thomas felt a chill crawl gently down his back. Not fear, just a cold, quiet unease. To his surprise, the woman finally spoke. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "I'm waiting." "For what?" Thomas asked. She looked down the train tracks toward the darkness. "For the train," she whispered. Thomas nodded politely. He didn't want to be rude, but then she said something that made the hair on his arms rise. "I've been waiting for a very long time." The story locals tell is that in 1903, a woman boarded a train at Hollowbrook station to meet her husband returning from war. But the train derailed in the fog. Everyone on board was lost. Since that night, she has returned to the station again and again, waiting for the train that will never bring him home. Nobody knows why Thomas could see her so clearly. Some say ghosts appear only to people with gentle hearts. Others say he simply arrived on the exact anniversary of the accident. As Thomas watched, the woman stood slowly. She looked down the tracks once more. Then she turned to him with the faintest, saddest smile. "Good night," she whispered. And in the space of a blink, she was gone. No sound, no movement, just empty fog and a slowly flickering lamp. The train doors chimed behind him. His train was ready to depart. Thomas stepped back inside, still feeling the cold presence of something lonely and gentle. Some people say Hollowbrook Station is haunted. Others say it's just an old legend. But Thomas believed he met a woman who had been waiting far too long, and maybe, just maybe, she felt less alone for one quiet moment. If your eyes are getting heavy now, let them close. Let the night settle softly around you. Thank you for listening to this gentle British ghost story. Sleep well, and good night.